Hello, my name is Andrea Tabares Brown. I'm from Medellin, Colombia, South America, and I believe nothing is impossible. The real question is, do you? Now, when presented this question, many may get stuck on the answer or even get caught off guard. Why? Well, because it's such a complicated question to answer on the spot. Now, you may all be wondering, why is it so hard to answer such a simply worded question? I personally believe because it cannot be simply answered in a yes or a no. It cannot be left out of any explanation or any justifiable explanation coming from the person who answered it. But for this, we'll take it slow. Now, to begin with, I want to state that impossibility exists because we believe it does, and this is a fact. Impossibility is a term created by humankind, and therefore it means we believe in it. Now, for the sake of this, I do believe there must be a distinction between the term limitation and the term impossibility. Now, we'll put this into context in our finite world, which provides limited options. Now, when we're in this world, we're presented with the first, most fearful limitation of all humankind, which is time. Now, time is precisely presented as a limitation because it is a barrier between the things we can and we cannot do. Yet it does not in any way lessen our capability of doing so. Therefore, in colloquial terms, a limitation is simply a barrier between what we can and what we can't do. See it as a fence. You can either abstain to the fence or just jump it over. Now, this limitation in no way lessens precisely the value of each action. Now, you do not need a day or do not need 10,000 days to give value to your own actions. Now, in this way, time is relative to making the impossible. Now, this in any way surrounds us with a limitation that is precisely driving us to be even better. This is calling us to act in an infinite way, infinite time. Now, we must remember, as we're in a finite world, even though we are still being presented with infinite options, with an infinite concept, infinities. Now, infinities are presented to us in each of all the things that we are surrounded by. One of their examples is numbers. Now, there are infinite numbers from 0 to 1 and infinite numbers from 0 to 2. They're both equally infinite, yet they're different. This doesn't mean one is less than the other or one is more than another. It just simply means they're from the same nature, yet they are relative to time. Now, us as human beings believe precisely in impossibility because we underestimate our cognitive or physical abilities and our capability of trespassing precisely these barriers. Yet, as the creatures who rule the world, we are the ones to trespass our own material barriers. Now, a great example of a mind without these barriers is a child's mind and their way of thinking. When we're younger, we're aware of our own potential, which allowed us to imagine or set our imagination free and believe we could be anything, no matter what people thought. Yet, over time, this changes as we grow older and more aware of the necessary steps to accomplish these childish ideas. We just simply ditch the idea of all the possibilities altogether. Now, I once read, we limit ourselves to the change that we can accomplish. By doing so, we guarantee the change we're dreaming of never manages to arrive. Now, the author basically describes this as a limited existence, and I couldn't agree more. This, for me, is an auto-limited existence. When speaking about impossibility, we're speaking of a set of possibilities that are impossible to achieve. Yet this is contradictory. When speaking about a situation that cannot be achieved, it does not mean all of its parts are unachievable. You may achieve some parts, but just because the action is not completed, it does not automatically make it impossible too. Now, taking back the concept of time that I mentioned before, this concept does not limit what we are able to accomplish. It simply limits on how much you can do on a determined set of time. Now, here comes a question. What would happen if everyone knew or everyone resigned on their dreams because they simply didn't know if they had the time to accomplish it? Well, the world more likely would be dull and static. Reality would become monotonous, and people will lose identity. Precisely this whole impossibility drives you to do the impossible, and I am calling you to do that. You cannot be a soldier of your own mind. You must be your commander, and I will tell you, everything is possible if you set your mind to. You just need to believe in that term that is only created by men just to put a barrier in our own mental state. Believe in yourself, believe in our humankind, and I will assure you, you are capable of doing anything.